won't see you.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, here we go, I think. Welcome to the other side of normal, where strange stories, unexplained experiences, and curious minds meet. I'm Nacho. Here, the questions matter more than the answers. This is the other side of normal. Okay. Technical difficulties aside, we're back. So, guys, thank you for joining me. Sorry about all the inconvenience here, but we've got Ron twice because we have to, and it's okay. um, so Henry will be joining us in a little bit. He had a meeting, and well, we wasted most of that time anyway trying to get everything set up and running. So that'll be fine. Um, if you guys just want to give me a brief overview of who you are and what you do there at the jail, and we'll kind of start with that.
Go ahead. Want me to start? I'm the technical advisor to what we're doing at the jail in terms of all the high-tech cameras and the ghost hunting program we're getting ready to launch real soon. So I kind of spearheaded all of that, and Henry, I did the paranormal information and all the funding, of course, for the product.
My name is Pat Cordasco. I work with Mr. Henry. I've been associated with the jail for about a little over 20 years now. I've been ghost hunting for almost 45 years.
Wow. 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 And Ron, you've been with the jail how long?
Since Henry Lee bought it, really. We didn't start on this project right away, but I knew about it and friend of Lee, so probably since 2000. But the project started seriously probably in 2000 or so.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
Mhm.
That's pretty cool. I have not been to the jail, but since I started talking with Henry, actually, one of the guys that watches our podcast, he's like messaging me every time I have a podcast. You got to get Henry Lee. You got to get Henry Lee. I'm like, okay, let me go get Henry Lee. And I messaged back and forth with Henry for probably an hour or so. And he's like, I hope you don't mind. I'm a talker and I'm going to give you more information than you'll ever need. I'm like, the more you talk, the less I have to. Beautiful.
He's honest too.
Yes, he is.
So he's popped on a couple of our podcasts in the last week or so, a couple weeks anyway. And I guess he's, eyeballing me to see what we're going to talk about or whatever. And I think it's really cool. And like I said, we've been checking out a little bit about the jail, and he sent me a bunch of photos that I put into a slide, and I'll just let those play here in a little bit. But he sent me a bunch of photos and gave me a bunch of information, and I'm like, I'm an idiot and I won't ever remember all of this, so that's why you're coming to tell us.
Well, any questions I can answer, I'll give you a tour real quick too. I mean, while I got the camera here, this is one of the TV screens that we have, and this is some of the programs that Ron's been working on. He's did all this. I just plug it into the wall, and everything's the thermo cameras, and it's got the infrared also. It's got audio. It can pick up sound and play sound. It's an awesome setup, though. And this is in the gathering room area. So the TV is like right there. So when people come to visit, they can set up in the gathering room area, and they can actually watch live when people are actually doing investigations and actually hear them and watch them and observe everything that they're doing. And Ryan can give you all the technical stuff and how it works when nobody's here and how the cameras work and how they operate. But again, it's like another stepping stone for the jail to where people can view it at any given time. And people come to investigate the jail. They can sit here and watch their team actually go into the cells, and they can sit down here and watch them do their investigating. So it's really kind of cool.
That's really
cool. We'll be putting a camera in the gathering room there too. I talked to Henry Lee yesterday, and we've got an extra camera that we were using on. Says we decided we're just going to put it in the gathering room because it come to find out there's quite a bit of activity in that room, even though it's not technically jail cells. Have you seen that, Patrick? Do you see some activity in that room?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, a lot of times, and it's only when people are conversing. Like if you sit down there in here with a few people and just had normal conversation, you know, you have K2 go off, RIM pod go off. I'm like the bell, I call it the service bell. Looks like a little.
Oh, the dead bell, yeah.
Hotel bell. They had a team here not too long ago. Matter of fact, just the other night. And I couldn't get the bell to shut up. It was getting really annoying until one of the ladies went in there and was like, if you want us to take the bell out, 1 for yes, 2 for no. And it went ding. I'm like, well, you know, if you would have told me that, I would have taken the bell out. As soon as I walked in, it would not stop. I mean, it was just to the point it was hitting so hard, it was vibrating off the jail cell, off the bed.
Nice. That's crazy.
It was really intense. I was really impressed too. So,
yeah. Patrick, didn't a gentleman, I can't remember his name now, a drug deal that went bad when the jail was abandoned, right? Where you're standing, right? Somebody got pushed into the jail through a window and were left there to die. They died a couple of days later.
Yeah, see where the chair is sitting right about there?
Mm-hmm.
Now this is back in around. That's your mother. Sorry. I was trying to call Henry on his phone. Sorry about that. But in the late 2000s, around, I want to say between 2006, 2007, somewhere around there, gentleman was shot. It was a drug deal gone bad. He was a local. I used to be a county deputy in the county at the time. And nobody actually took care of this jail. It was owned by an individual that just let people come in at random to do investigations here and there. But he was dropped off here, shot twice, and left to die. But he never died. He didn't bleed out. So they came back a couple days later, and where the chair sits here, his body was up against this window and this wall, and he was still alive. So they shot him twice with a 12-gauge shotgun and dumped his body on a dirt road where he was located about 3 weeks later by a hunter. Yeah.
That's insane.
So, and for the longest time, once the building was cleared, the crime scene was, processed, it was given back to the previous owner to where, she could have groups come in and do investigations. And that was the selling point. I hate to say it that way, but she would throw that out there about this gentleman's demise in the jail. And then people would just, flocking in here to try to get evidence of his spirit in the jail, which it was for the longest time. And it's still here now, but it's not as active as it used to be. So, Yeah, it was pretty weird, to
That's
say the
pretty
least.
interesting.
Um, yeah, well, it wasn't on my end because I had to sit in on his autopsy, so I was a lucky investigator to go sit in on his autopsy. And I knew the guy. I knew the guy from the street. I mean, I dealt with him several times as a road deputy and never had an issue with him, you know.
Wow.
But yeah.
I see a question there. When the jail was built and when did it close?
It started,
25, right? 1925, maybe it was built.
the jail was opened in 1928 and closed in 1968. Gilchrist County became its own entity in 1925. So prior to 1925, anything that happened within Gilchrist County was maintained and operated through Alachua County, and Gilchrist or Trenton was called Gainesville West back in the day. So if anything happened in Gilchrist County, officers would have to come out of Alachua County into Gilchrist to handle any problems. Until after 1925, it became its own entity. So it had to establish its own police department, and the jail was built in 1928 and started housing inmates.
I believe the state representative's last name that pushed the bill was Gilchrist, and that's where they got the name of the county.
Right. He was actually he was actually the mayor. Oh, no, excuse me. Yeah. Governor of Gilchrist. And he then became mayor of Gilchrist County. So, and that was where they got their name.
I believe it's the newest county in Florida and also the smallest county.
Yeah, it's very small and it's very rural. So there's a lot of rural areas out here. If you don't know the area, you can simply get lost. But it's developing a lot over the years. So when I first started, there were no street names. There were no numbers. It was like the fifth mailbox to the right, down by the row of pine trees. You'll see a house sitting on the left, turn right. That's how you got the calls back then. And that was in 97. In 1997.
Hysterical.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, I was like, and then if you got to the wrong house, you'd hear somebody yell, "Oh, no, you need to go down there. That's where the problem is." And you're like, "Oh, okay." You know, so
Well,
it took you a while.
I could speak to the rural part of it when it comes to the technology, because when Henry Lee bought the jail, the only thing you could get for internet there was some kind of satellite internet or DSL, which was way too slow if you're going to stream 10 cameras 24 hours a day at high definition. But luckily, a couple years ago, 3 companies came in and put fiber throughout Trenton. So now we have a 2 gigabit pipe. It's going to really great for all the cameras that we have, and the testing has gone well.
That's really cool. So my friends here from 27 Spirits say hello. That leads me to believe that probably that they've been there.
Yes, as a matter of fact, Henry's got a wall that every time somebody comes out to visit or does an investigation, everybody will sign the wall and leave the John Hancock and who they belong to. And
Love it.
yeah, they'll come out and they'll just write their names down and what team they belong to and so forth.
That's really
It's like the Wall of Fame, you know, like when people come to visit, you know, that's the first thing he tells them to do. Don't forget to sign the wall. And of course, we got a stack of markers over here that everybody can just sign the wall and leave their groups and so forth. And people recognize other groups, and I think that's kind of cool. Like, oh, look, so-and-so's been over here. Oh no, Henry Lee just pulled in his driveway.
So before
Let's
Henry
hope
gets
it
there,
went-
Ron,
well,
let
let's
me ask
hope
you
it went
some questions
well.
about your cameras there.
Yeah.
Are they just cameras or are they recording?
The cameras, well, we're recording in a number of ways. The cameras have SD cards in them, so you can get some light recording in the camera. It's kind of a backup. but we also have a network attached storage device on property. I can't remember. I think it's got 36 terabytes or something, a lot of storage. And the content delivery networks, two of them that we're going to be using for various parts of the project, we can also record there as well. So there's redundancy. We're not going to miss anything really. If we want it, we'll have it on video somewhere.
So if a team comes and they record stuff and they say, "Hey, we got this. Do you have a different angle?" And would you guys send them a clip?
Well, if they came and investigated, we will cooperate. You know, we'll have one angle only. They'll have many, but we'll have one angle in the corner cell with an optical lens, thermal lens, which is extremely high tech. I always tell the story that as a dealer, I had to sign a paper that said I was not in the military in order to get this level of thermal sensor. And I had to get special permission from Germany, where the cameras are made, very, very high, very advanced cameras, probably the most advanced on the planet. And plus we have an audio module. I think Patrick will probably go to a camera where you can see what I'm talking about.
Yes, Henry Lee will go to the camera now. So,
Hi, Henry. How are you?
the commissioner. Of course. Connection was lost. Hold on.
Frozen. Oh, there
Hold on. I'll go back.
We've had nothing but trouble since we logged on, so don't feel bad.
With that said, I'll stay here. Yeah, just got back from a commissioner meeting. Of course, I have to redraw my site plans. They want parking not in front of the jail, but actually on the jail grounds. They were talking about bringing the fence down. We're not open. Huh? Oh, yeah, but I'm busy with an interview right now and all, so. A little busy right now. You'll have to get back with me another time. I do apologize. I'm on a podcast. I probably would be. Get hold of me on private messenger, and I will. I'd be. Okay, maybe. Yeah, just let me know. Sorry about that, guys.
You're fine. You're fine. That's great.
Yeah, but I was wanting parking in front of the jail, which they've been parking in front of this jail and at the park, but they're worried about the city be liable if there was an accident on a dead-end street. So they're going to open this up to where I could get cars back here to this double fence, and then I can park the cars back here on the property. And then I asked, well, do I have to blacktop this said parking? And they said no. So that's a good thing. So just another step moving forward. Yeah, I'll be more than happy. They don't want me to get asphalt in here and more money that I could just park people in here. And I was going to take down these posts that they magically appeared one night because supposedly once upon a time this was a road. It looks like grass.
Oh.
But
yeah.
They put these posts up
so
to
nobody
stop
can
people
park
like
there.
it. Well, yeah, exactly. But they're gonna, I guess, take these posts down so we can get back here for parking. And I'll just bring them the back gate, and they can park right here behind the fence. So, of course, it's another step. I've been going about this for the past 4 years with the commissioners. You must understand that a lot of these commissioners, a lot of people have been here for 8 generations. This place has been misused by the last owners. Didn't really put any money into it, just had paranormal investigations and didn't care about it historically. And I am working with the commissioners to actually make this a museum. So, like I said, I've been at it for about 4 years now. It's like I told the commissioners a few minutes ago. I feel that saving your history here in Gilchrist County and Trenton is a very important thing. And if it takes another month, so be it. But, you know, I think the
so many people that own spots that they do paranormal in don't care about the building. They don't care about the history. They want to make some fast cash and get out. And you are one of the few and far between that want to do something with that property and keep it around.
Yes, I do. I think it was. I think it was misused in a sense. If you ask anybody that's been to the jail, it definitely has a unique energy about it. In fact, Ron, the other day, he was running tests with the camera system we have, and he called me up and asked me, he's like, were you at the jail? And I'm like, no, it was locked up. No one's been there. He's like, I hear people walking up the stairs. I'm hearing chitter chatter in the background off of these really sensitive microphones we have on these cameras. And he made a comment, even though he's been working diligently on this camera system for the past 3.5, 4 years. He made a comment. He's like, oh my goodness, that place really is haunted. I'm like, well, yeah, I'm not spending all this on cameras and everything else because it's just an old building. It's very unique place.
So I'm supposed to ask you about how you watched Jennifer from 27 Spirits hit her head on the bunk. Do you recall that?
I do not. It must have been up. It must have been up in cell 8. I tend to leave the visitors alone. I'll stay down in what we call the gathering room, which Patrick was just coming to you live from, where our monitor is. I tend to leave them alone, so I probably missed that, but the name is familiar. So
There's some friends of ours, and I think we just did a podcast with them last night, and so now they're jumping on today to share the love a little bit.
did they have anything nice to say about the jail last night?
So, first of all, they always have nice things to say about everybody, and I don't know that the jail ever really. It wasn't my podcast. It was another, but
Right.
they jumped on here right away. Oh, he said it was Patrick that watched watched her hit her head on the bunk. So,
Would you like me to do a bougie lay down on the car?
I love that car. I love that
So
car.
do I. I have people offer me money for it, and I'm like, it'd be like you asking me to buy the jail. It's just not.
Not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Plus, they wouldn't want to pay for what I paid for this thing with no engine, and everything else. But the sirens do work, and the lights work on it. So that's about all that works on this. Is I had the engine and the transmission torn out.
The important stuff works, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's aesthetics. Even when we first bought the place and we were following in the footsteps of the previous owners per se, but before it was going to become a museum, it was going to be a museum before I knew it was going to be a museum. With getting this car and an old switchboard I have in there from Venice, Florida school from 1922, and I was already collecting historical pieces for it. So, like I tell my wife Cheryl, this jail's going to take itself where it's going to go, not where I want it to go, or it has its own destiny, and I'm just trying to be the caretaker and get it to a point to where it's a legitimate place instead of a dirty secret that people were snuck in the middle of the night. And I want this to be something the town can be proud of, and I'm working diligently at that. I didn't think it would take this long, mind you, but it's worth it to me because my son James will be taking this over probably. I'm going to go ahead and retire from it 2028 and hand at our October festival fall festival we have every year. When the jail turns 100, I'm going to hand him the keys, and he can be the new face of Gilchrist. And of course, I'll be in the background. But at the end of the day, even the commissioners asked me, what if something happens to you? We don't want to sound morbid or anything. And I said, well, my son is going to be taking this over. This is a project that the whole family loved. So,
That's awesome. So Deborah just asked, what made you decide to purchase the jail?
all right. Well, in 2014, myself, my wife, and my family was in a propane explosion. Thank God the kids weren't hurt; they were upstairs. But
Wow.
my wife and I were seriously injured. She was burnt at 83% of her body. She died a couple times at hospital, and I was burnt
Oh,
at 45%. But the things we've seen at Mercy Hospital in St. Louis, um, the mists. I actually had a Catholic preacher come into my room, or Catholic father come into my room, asked me to pray for him. Long story short, the next day, I had asked about what clergy was on the night before, and they told me there was none. Um, and just that the mists that my wife was seeing, and then when I went to her room after she came out of her coma after 6 weeks, she was seeing mist. She was seeing a black mist. I was seeing a white mist. But with that said, we went through a big litigation over that accident. And 2021, we moved to Florida from St. Louis just to make a new start. A lot of bad things happened after that explosion that we just felt we needed to get away. And we seen on Facebook back in, I don't know, February of 2021. It was on Facebook, haunted jail for sale. And I said, really? Now, I'm usually progressive, but I says to my wife, I'd like to see this haunted jail. Fooling his money, you know. So we made arrangements. We were living down in Sarasota at the time, and what we'd seen at that hospital kind of opened our eyes, made our veils a little thinner, per se, being so close to death. And we came up, and what made us stand out from others, and I'll stand in the exact place that we did it. On that day here at the opening, my wife and I stopped and we said the Lord's Prayer. And then we asked the spirits here at Gilchrist, hey, we're looking to be your new caretakers. Can we please come inside and take a look at what you got going on here? And when the realtor went back to Miss Arlene Hale and said what we had done, asking the spirits permission, we weren't the highest bid because the kind of bidding war kind of started from what she was asking. We weren't the highest bid, but we were the most respected bid. And as hard as it was for her to sell it, I couldn't imagine selling it. It's grown very near and dear to my heart. And 4.5, this month actually, on the end of the month, we'll make it 5 years we've been here. I couldn't imagine letting it go either. So with that said, we bought the place, and previous owner put a set of dowsing rods in my hand. I had never really done any paranormal investigating before that. So I definitely still have lots to learn. I've got a curb owning this jail and the probably 25 different places that we've investigated over the past 4 years that has really opened our eyes on things. And it seems like every time I scoff at something like, oh, yeah, Zach, they threw a ball down the hallway. All of a sudden I see a ball rolling down the hallway here or something. I've learned in the past 5 years to stop scoffing at things. So like I scoff when I see something just mysteriously fly across the room. We had Kiki of Univision here back 3 years ago, where they're doing their filming and all, and of the place, and we had this little espresso cup sitting on a mannequin's shoulder that had been there all day long. We only had so many cups, so I kept putting it back on his shoulder. And while he was filming, it looked like somebody flicked it across the room. And I'm like, okay, the wind didn't do that. Nothing has changed. None of the parameters have changed inside the jail. So it just seems like I said, every time I scoff at something, like 2 weeks ago, I don't know if Patrick told you about it, but we were here getting ready for Ron to come actually do some more work on the cameras. And we'd heard a bang upstairs, which caught our attention. We were standing at the bottom of the stairs, and we both kind of stopped talking, looked at each other, and then we heard with our own ears, oh. And I looked at Patrick and I said, that's like something out of Hollywood there. When people say that it's an unearthly kind of voice or moan, or that's exactly the way I would explain it. Like it was coming from a different dimension per se. So it's never a dull moment here at the Gilchrist.
That is awesome. So we have a mutual friend in Shadow Russell. He's the guy that said get Henry on here, and I'm like, okay, well he's on now, and he's saying hi, and he can't wait to spend some time with you in June.
Yeah, I'm going up to his barbecue. He's such a big supporter that I'm taking time out of my busy schedule to support him. He's
That's awesome.
great. He's like a little brother to me. Really, really excited about the jail. He's such a sweet, dear person. Very tender on the inside, and some people like give him a hard time. I don't appreciate that because he means so well on everything he does and everybody he supports, and he's like a brother from another mother, is what he says. And I love the young man. Early in, he came to our house and spent several days at our house. He came out to one of our events, and yeah, Shadow's a great man. He really is. He's
awesome.
Yeah, misunderstood sometimes, but his heart's in the right place.
I'll tell you that I only know him from our Facebook page, and when we do live investigations and stuff, he joins in with us. He's always been very respectful, always very nice. And like I said, he's like, you have to get Henry on your podcast, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that does not surprise me. Like I said, a huge supporter. And I'd say he's my number one fan. I think he thinks I'm a little bit more famous than I actually am. I wish everybody would kind of look at the jail through his eyes, because it wouldn't be as unknown as it is. I mean, it's known. Don't get me wrong. I mean, when you look into even before 2021, before you look into the history from, ghost hunters, 17, 18, 15, 10, 9, 8 years, they all come up with the same names. They all come up with the same experiences. And, like I said, this is a project that's near and dear to my heart.
So Deborah is on here. She is my right hand on my team, and she asks a million questions. And Ron, she wants to know if you've ever experienced anything while you've been in the jail alone.
Well, I've rarely been in a jail alone, but when I have, the only thing I can think of is the stairwell. When you go up the stairwell, there's like tightening in the chest, and I can't explain it, but there's something you feel in the stairwell. The only other things I've really seen are investigators or Lee with his dowsing rods that has exceptional response to the dowsing rods from the spirits, and once in a while Patrick has something on his devices.
And if any of your followers can interject on this, dowsing rods are the one paranormal tool that I'm not going to say I'm a skeptic by any means, especially now. But I can always punch holes in the K2. Oh, maybe it's picking up on microwaves or something, or this or that, and I'll try to debunk everything. It's just, if I'm saying it's paranormal related, I've dotted all my I's, checked, crossed all the T's, to where the place overwhelms me at times, especially upstairs, like Ron's saying, because that first day we came here, I was about halfway up those stairs, and I was like, why do I feel like this? Why? And it's the further you get upstairs, and it's not just me, it's a lot of people that come there, especially in cell 4, it's top of the stairs to the right. There in Gilchrist history, there is someone that committed suicide, supposedly, in that cell. And a lot of people get tightness in their chest. They're having a hard time breathing. So I say to our visitors, if you ever feel not quite right, it's best to come downstairs and go outside for a few minutes. Some people will call it being attacked by spirits, and my hypothesis, what I think it is your body is getting overwhelmed by energy that you're not used to, and the body goes into like a flight or fright kind of mode to where that energy is affecting your equilibrium, it's affecting your breathing, it's affecting things to where that's like with us doing this virtual ghost hunting, for people to actually be able to sit in at their own homes, watch the different paranormal investigators come in with their different tools and all, and debunk some of this, what Hollywood has done. Not going to say any names, but to make everything demonic or make everything like you're being attacked. Or now I know damn well there are demonic spirits per se out there, but there's no demonic spirits here. Just a lot of sorrow, a lot of anger, longing for things that they're used to. And I've noticed that they really crave the attention of the living because that's what they once were.
So, I want to touch on the uh, the ghost hunting aspects here in a little bit, but Deborah's got more questions. How many inmates were held there at one time, and do you have any histories on those inmates? And did any of those inmates meet their demise there?
Yes, that the question is
That's a lot.
yes. I have some dockets. In fact, I could show you something. I'll give you a little rundown to it, Deborah. In 1928, we had a inmate here called Sam Colton, and I even wrote it on the wall when I got this donation here to the jail. This cage right here comes from the Farmers and Merchants Bank, which was about a football field away from this jail. Sam Colton actually broke into this at the bank, got into the safe, stole the money. He was caught several hours later, brought here until his trial, and he was sent somewhere else. The thing is, in 1967, see, this was just a county jail. This wasn't a hanging jail. This wasn't a prison to where people were put to death. But the sheriffs would leave at 6 p.m. and the inmates would be here by themselves the whole evening. Now, cell 4 held 6, and the other 7 cells held 2. So with that math, it's 1450. He said 1920. So for its capacity, it would have been 20 inmates. Now, I don't know, like today, if they had more, they crammed more into cells. But basically, this held 20 people. The women were held downstairs in the 3 downstairs cells, and the men were up top at this 5 cells up there.
That's pretty cool. So you did send me a bunch of pictures, and I made this this little slideshow here, and I'm just going to kind of let it run. And if there's anything that jumps out at you,
that's the way we bought the place. In fact, it was worse. That was from our last event. That's from 1978.
wow.
That's the car out front, obviously, with some of our cameras that are on the exterior. There's the cage we were just talking about. There's Naked and Afraid people, Trey and Matt Garland, and there's I've got that's John Dillinger death certificate and a bullet fired from his gun.
That's cool.
Numbered knob. Oh, that's my son and I, and some and our Ann Gower of London gave us those paranormal hoodies. That's my son and I. As you can see, the walls weren't painted yet there like they are now. And that's the wife and I in Sarasota. And there's a couple of the mannequins that are here. There's the switchboard, and there's Tina Fleury and some of her friends from one of our events. There's Patrick Cordasco messing around. He does a lot here. That's Delwood. He's one of our big fans as well. It comes down with the Naked and Afraid people. There's virtual Casper. There's the screen that can be seen here. It's right here, actually.
How many cameras are on that?
There are 10 in the jail, and then we have 8 outside, and we have 1 in the gathering room, which we're going to upgrade it to one of the high-tech cameras that you're seeing there. We're going to put 1 here in the gathering room itself here in the near future.
Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Is that looking down into the cell?
What's that?
Is that looking down into the cell?
Yes, the camera's up in the corner. I'd walk in there, but I don't want to lose the feed again. That's in here. That's, as you can see, the picture in the middle is our credentials that it's a historically recognized place. Old handcuffs. Actually have an old lock here that was a lock used at the prison up in Fulton, Georgia, that Martin Luther King Jr. was actually held in. One of our museum pieces. And that's some of the collections from the Lemp Brewery, the McPike Mansion, different things that we've gotten. That little doll on the right, that came from the Day of the Dead down in Mexico a couple of years ago. We collect things as we go to haunted places to help them out as well, because obviously these are hard to upkeep and maintain and restore.
Yes, absolutely. I love that.
That's what we call the gathering room with that furniture. You go to so many places where the chairs fall out from under you. I had an opportunity to buy all this stuff, and yeah, it's heavy and heavy duty. But yeah, so we're usually set up before an investigation, you know, and that would be cell 3. Looking at the stairwell out of cell 3. That's be one of the ladies' cells. That's the front door coming in. That's the top of the stairs between 4 is on the right, 5 is on the left. But as you can see, the jail has not been refurbished. These are everything you see. These bars, the heater element behind Patrick there, there's the stairwell. This is all from 1928, which is when I got it registered in the National Archives. They were really surprised that, there's our first sheriffs, Fields, Dean, Davis, Dean. You notice how the names repeat themselves? Yeah.
Yes.
It's a very small town of 2,000 people. I'm sure it was less back then, but they kept it, you know, within, like Clyde Williams, one of, I think his great grandson now sits on the commissioner board. And then that name that jumps out at me on that list would be Mark Red. I pronounced it Reed. But I was corrected by one of the older locals. It's like, if you're going to talk about our sheriff, at least get his name right. It's pronounced Red. But if you noticed, he was only here that had his start year because he actually died in the line of service. And I like to go out of my way to talk a lot about Sheriff Red. He was only here for a few months. I actually know a gentleman, Clyde, here that lives in town, that when he was a young man, Sheriff Red was going to take him out on that particular call out to the farm of Harley Connor. And he went out there, and Harley Connor had been arrested a few times for larceny and checks and stealing pigs and stuff. He had quite the reputation here in this town, and we're just going to leave it to what's actually in the history. And Harley actually was held here at the jail after he had killed Sheriff Red. Then he went off to, I think, Railford, where he was put to death. But like I said about the small town, I have descendants of Harley Connor. His great grandson is named after him, and the family has a little different story, but that's not for me to gossip about per se. A, the spirits don't like it, and B, I'm sure the city folk here. I try to keep it about the historical facts. And yeah, Harley Connor was put to death for killing Sheriff Red, and he was one of the inmates here.
Wow. Wow. So do you offer overnight investigations, or is it just they come in for a certain amount of time, or?
Come in for a certain amount of time. It's going to be after hours, after the museum tours, kind of like Mace Stringer. They have their historical tours during the day. And on Friday and Saturday, they'll have their um, after hour investigations, per se. Fire marshal doesn't want people sleeping in here. So we usually have people come in if they're coming in, say about 2, 3 o'clock, start investigating. And, when the activity starts to go up, and it's when it starts coming down, if they want to stay till 2 or 3, that's fine, depending on the activity going on, that's fine. But as far as overnights from until the sun comes back up, not really, but we give a lot more than just 2 or 3 hours. That some places will have you start at 10 and leave at 2. I like investigating from myself from around 6 p.m. to 2, because that's when the inmates are left here alone. So it seems like that it's most active is around that time. But this place is active 24 hours a day. Not so much when you're just here, say, hanging out. It's when you start asking the questions, setting up the tools, and start asking the questions. I can put a K2 meter in one of the cells, and it'll do nothing. But once you start asking questions and actually doing an investigation, they seem to, I don't want to say show up on cue, but that's what I've noticed. When you're actually interacting with them is when these tools start going off, especially the stairwell. One particular evening, I had a mel meter, which I stopped using it for a while because it always says 0. I never could get the mel meter to do anything. But I've had instances, I have it in my archives, to where the mel meter was going off the charts and zeroing out. It was getting so high. Why a K2 meter next to it was pinging the red, answering questions. Why the REM pod's going off. When I can get 2 or 3 different tools that are functioning in different ways to correspond at the same time, that really gives a lot of validity to that I am actually talking with something.
That's pretty cool. So I don't know my geography of Florida very well. What would be like your nearest airport to you?
Nearest airport would be Gainesville International or regional. I think it's a regional. I would suggest anybody flying down here to visit the jail, go into Tampa or Orlando. You usually get direct flights on Allegiant's pretty affordable. From Tampa to here, it's about an hour and 45-minute drive. So where you fly into Gainesville, then you're about 40 minutes away, but there's no direct flights. It's expensive as heck. It's worth flying into Tampa, Orlando, Jacksonville, renting a car and driving out, which beautiful thing about Trenton here is we're about 100 miles from everything. 100 miles from Jacksonville, 100 miles from Daytona, 100 miles from Orlando, 100 miles from Tampa, about 115, 20 miles from Tallahassee. So it sits up here in a really unique spot to where as long as you're not going to Key West, everything is within a couple hour drive, all your bigger cities.
Cool.
So, yeah.
And so near you, are there like hotels and stuff to stay at?
In Chiefland, there are some hotels. Here in Trenton, there are no hotels. There's some Airbnbs here and there. Chiefland will be the closest place, about 11 miles away, that have your hotels, like Hotel 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad places to stay by any means. It's fairly close. So,
Okay. Just for those, I mean, Deborah's over here. She's planning a trip as we speak.
Deborah needs to contact me just via private messenger. We're not technically open yet. That was part of the commissioners' meeting. I've got to turn in another site plan, which is fine. They just covering the city. They don't have much money in their budget. Don't need someone to sue them. So It's like the inspector told me 3 years ago. He's like, I have a bad habit of putting the cart in front of the mule. I apologize, and I said I called myself a layman. I'm like, I'm just trying to do the right thing with this property we bought to maybe make it available to people one day, so it's not just a jail that I bought and turned into a boys' club for Ron and I to hang out and for Ron to play guitar in, or like the old you see these old gangster movies where the young guys would be dressing like Frank Sinatra and all, and they'd go out there and play pinball and this and that. I'd like to be able to actually open it up, finish the restorations, get a business license, get insurance, have a bathroom, have electricity and AC here in this in the sheriff house to make this place so I could share this with the visitors that come, and when the visitors come, I could share it to the planet as a real paranormal investigating. The building doesn't change. The investigators do. Their techniques change. The tools they use, the energies they bring. This is something that the people can watch hours before the investigators get there, before they even step into the building. They're already watching. So there's no trickery or tomfoolery. You're seeing when they get there. You're seeing how they're setting up, what they're using. You're going to see the highs and the lows of paranormal investigating, and I believe it's desperately the next step that for people to watch the real of it. So, there might be some nights where all we're getting is EVPs, but then there's nights, you're catching shadows and catching, phantom voices and the mimic doing whistles, or it brings much more validity when you see something extraordinary happening, because it'll make the masses really see what paranormal investigating is. It's not always running out of a building scared. This has been Hollywood. It's been sensationalized, and I understand.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. You have a paranormal show and you've got 30 people on the payroll, and you get traveling expenses for all those people to get to said location. Yeah. And then nothing happens, that's a real loss. So that's why, if you read the fine print on some of these shows, it's for entertainment purposes only. So you got to take, like with life, you got to take the good with the bad, the highs with the lows. And I think people will really respect that at the end of the day, how we're handling this. I'm excited about it. I know Ron's really excited about it. I couldn't have done this without him. It was actually Cheryl's idea. We, when Ron was putting these cameras up, we could see them at our house, in his house. And my wife goes, well, if we could see it, can't other people see it per se? Like if we had our own, website, could other people see this? And Ron's been working tirelessly for about 3.5 years on this system. And we're so close to offering something that's real, not reality TV, but real paranormal investigations, and how it, like I said, how it runs.
And I've never heard of anybody else doing something like this.
Well, the beautiful thing about it is we don't have YouTube to tell us what we should and shouldn't be doing, or Hollywood.
Right.
Or it keeps me honest too, because that's why I don't have a YouTube page, to be honest with you. Because what would stop me from being tainted myself and having someone outside or hiding somewhere and bang on stuff and do all this over dramatic shit that, excuse me, my language, you're getting to see, like I said, the real deal. And the low monthly cost will be asking for a subscription. Know that all that money goes to the restoration of the jail, the upkeep of the jail, the obtaining of historical artifacts or different things, so we can go to different places. And then on the same channel, will be done once I retire. My wife and I will be doing places like Tombstone, places like the Queen Mary, go to Scotland, and that'll be live on this for our subscribers to see as well. So it won't just be the jail. It'll be Cheryl and I taking it out on the road and showing our investigations of these different places that we go to.
I think that's a great idea. And like I said, I think you're probably onto something here. And watch how many people copycat this after you get it rolling.
Well, good luck, because you know what? The camera expense.
Yeah.
I'll just go ahead and put it out there. Only the 10 cameras, we'll say 11 cameras that we bought for this system, the price tag for just the cameras alone was $136,000.
Wow.
Plus the several cameras that are outside, plus all the wires that have been run in low voltage. It's something we're very passionate about. Everything's in place and everything's paid for now. Like I said, we don't have outside influences. You're going to see real investigators, newbies to midway through, like myself, to people that have been doing it for 20 years. I don't want to dare say experts, because the way I see it, I'll always help someone. I'll always teach somebody, and I will always be a student and have something to learn. But I'll never be an expert, because with the paranormal, there's no way I could become an expert in this, because like I said, the stuff I see here and the stuff I see in other places, when I scoff or think, that's just Hollywood. Ron needs a raise. Well, Ron is, you're right, Deborah, but Ron is actually, he's a partner in this. He's going to be getting a percentage of things as well. So he's going to be well compensated for I'd say, you got about at least 1,500 hours in this project, Ron, if not more.
Yeah, well, yeah, probably more.
Yeah, probably more. This is something he's passionate about as well, being able to bring this to the masses, because some people can't afford to go to these places. But when you can virtually,
some of them are very expensive.
you know what? Without the investigators, my spirits are going to be getting tired of me just coming in. They crave that interaction. You got to keep it affordable, and I'm hoping with this Caster virtual ghost hunting, we can keep the monthly subscription low. We can have the masses, doing a good thing. It's not me just saying, "Hey, I've got a GoFundMe page. Can you please help me pay for the restoration of this historical place?" You're going to be getting 24/7 access to the place and everything that goes on in the place. So you're getting something and you're giving something. I feel much more comfortable asking for subscribers than I do, yes, hey, can you please send me $10? Like, don't get me started on this Nancy Guthrie thing. When you got these YouTubers saying, hey, I need a hotel. Can my subscribers please send another $50 a piece for me to... It baffles my mind how they're making a living off this, but I can't consciously go to sleep at night just being a charlatan like that. I mean, I'll get up on my platform and I'll speak everything I can about the jail to get the help we're needing, but I'm not going to infringe and beg. And I want people to feel like, wow, for $15 a month, maybe $150 a year, I get 24-hour access to the place. I'm seeing different paranormal investigators coming in week after week. I have access to the jail itself 24 hours a day. We're going to have an interactive part where our subscribers, while they're watching, can talk to each other via, how that works, like the people are on your web, on this podcast right now. They'll be able to interact with each other.
Yeah.
I love them.
And I can tell you right now, I would definitely, for $15 a month, I would jump on that in a heartbeat.
And hopefully when we send you a link when we are fully operational, and I have obviously my business license in place and insurance and a bathroom, and we really launched this, I'm telling you, we are weeks away from it being flawless. It's never been quite this good between internet in a small town. We had grainy pictures. Now you see the video that's coming at it. And maybe Ron will send you a little bit of an investigation we had the other day. Get you a peek of it, and it's cutting edge. I think it's where I think people are going to be excited about it because of the truth behind it.
That's something to really look forward to. I think that's amazing. Somebody did ask, and I forgot who it was. I think maybe it was Megan asked if there's like a certain hot spot in the jail, or is it just the entire jail?
Well, of course, there's going to be any given night. It could be different cells, but to answer that question honestly, there are places that stand out, and that's cell 3, cell 4, cell 6, 7, and 8. Of course, 4, 6, 7, and 8. These are where the men were held, especially cell 4, because most of the cells just held 2. If you and I were in that cell, we come to some kind of understanding who was sleeping on the bottom bunk next to the toilet versus the top bunk. But in cell 6, there's 6 men in there. You know what? I'm a lover and not a fighter. And if you ask my wife, I'm not even a lover. So I wouldn't be top dog. I sure the hell wouldn't be down at the bottom. I'd be somewhere in the middle. But can you imagine, hey, cell inmate 6, you're going to give me your lunch today. And he's like, I ain't giving you my lunch. I'm hungry. Oh, really? Well, when Sheriff Field leaves in a few hours, you and I are going to have us a little discussion about who's getting the food in here. And to have, one-on-one's one thing, but when there's 1-on-5, that's a scary cell up there, man. Everybody says it. That's where you start losing your breath. That's where someone mysteriously hung themselves in front of other inmates, but nobody's seen nothing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have seen nothing either. I mean, I'll be honest with it. The sheriff came in and said, hey, yeah, I didn't see nothing. I was sleeping. I'm a heavy sleeper.
Oh, no.
He did it while we were
something, you'd be the next one hanging.
You're darn straight. Yeah. It scares the bejesus out of me. I mean, honestly, that cell 4 is the one, the stairwell in cell 4. Yeah, it's heavy. And then cell 8. Don't get me started about cell 8. We've had mediums come in and say there's been an altercation in there, and from some other things I've heard about Sam, an altercation happened up there. Of course, when there's no supervision, of course that's going to happen. What did you expect going to happen?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 27 Spirit says you have to watch out for Officer Friendly, who'll have you jump every time you get to the end of the hallway by the shower.
He's right. I wish I could walk in. Sometimes I can. I've got full service right now, but the feed isn't strong enough. But yeah, honestly, little psychosomatic goes a long way as well. That's why I have these dolls in here and different things from different places. I got the Zach Baggins shirt from his museum hanging up in here. Little psychosomatic goes a long way. Not that it needs it, but it definitely adds to the ambiance of the building.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've got a couple haunted dolls up here, so
hey man, that skull back there, it's looking at me, man. I've been following you a little bit. I watched
my podcast last night. Yeah, he was telling me that skull's looking right at me. I didn't even turn it on tonight.
It's still looking at me, man. Oh hell, now it is looking at me. I'll have to turn mine on now.
Yeah.
But we're
excited. Like you're doing some great things out there.
The next time Ron comes up, and I can grab one of these. This is another thing that we're going to have for our subscribers, which is really cool. In each cell, Ron is going to be running a low voltage line from the cameras. He's going to run me a pigtail. And in this camera sight, we're going to have either one of these. See, it's going to be low voltage, so no batteries.
Oh, I like it.
And in the cell, we'll have one of these, REM pod. in each cell. So some people can't afford REM pods per se. There's going to be a REM pod in the
They are
K2
expensive.
spread out in each cell in front of each camera. So they can use it. It's going to have a little pigtail on it, about several feet of cord, so they can use that as well. Plus at night after we close down, these tools are going to be left in there on low voltage so the batteries don't go down and our little spirits don't drain the batteries, which you're so good at doing, especially as it gets later and they're losing energy. They seem to. I had a whole bag of brand new batteries sitting in here, and every one of them had been dead. I went through about 10 batteries I'd left here in my box or in the bag that they were all dead. They feed off of batteries. I have a tendency, if there's anything left in a battery, I'll change it out and I'll leave it for them. So
that's pretty cool. That's really cool. Man, I'm astounded by what you guys are doing, and first of all, the fact that you want to rehab this old building.
They deserve to have their home.
I mean,
they deserve to have their home, forever home, because the actions I'm doing right now, the only thing this place can ever be is a museum. Even if after I pass on, my son decides to sell it, the next people can only have a museum here. It'll always be a historical building. No one can tear it down. Not even the city can tear it down at this point because it's not only recognized here in Florida, it's in the National Archives as well. And that, let me tell you, you think I'm stumbling around with these commissioners here trying to figure things out to get this place open. That was a daunting task that a person named Walter Wobig helped me with. It took us about 16 months for to do the paperwork, to file for it, to get the history, it was another time. It took a lot of time to make that happen, and I couldn't have done it without the help of Ron Poulin. Had me read a book once when I was about 16, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ron. I believe it was called The 3-Minute Manager.
The 1 minute manager.
One minute manager.
The one chapter was called Aces in Their Places. And that's why Ron's doing what he does. That's why I'm doing what I do. That's why I had Walter Wobig help me with the historical, because I'm not so proud. And as much as I love to talk and love to be in front of the camera, it's not about me. It's about saving the jail. The jail is the star here, not me. I share the camera with Ron. I share it with Patrick. I share it with my son. I'm not trying to be famous. I just want to get the word out of what a unique place this really is.
So I work for a brewery here in Pittsburgh Brewing Company. We just built a brand new brewery. I don't know how many millions he spent on it, but we have another brewery across the city that was built in 1861, and it is a huge monstrosity, and it is a national treasure as well. It's just falling apart though, and we wanted to go back into that building before the new brewery was built, but the people that had previously owned it owe about $1 million worth of water bills, and the gentleman that bought it, he's like, I don't want to be responsible for that water bill. And they're like, if you want to come back to the city, you've got to pay this water bill. And he's like, I'll move down the river and build a new brewery. Now we still own that building, but we really can't do anything with it at this point. He's trying to look at to do some different things, like put in a museum, maybe put in a little tasting room or whatever. But it's so restrictive as to what you can do with it now. It's crazy.
And the bigger the building, the bigger the expense. I mean, I know what I put into this building. Forget about the cameras and all, just having to redo the sheriff house with tuck pointing and masonry work. The windows alone, these new windows you see around me, I had them all custom made, especially back here. I'm really proud of this. Hopefully we can still see it. It's starting to get dark. But save this window, for instance. You see how the old sash is still here? I was able to custom make,
yeah.
get this window here custom made so I can fit it in the space and still keep the original window
Oh,
like this as well.
that's pretty cool.
These are things that were very important to me to save the historical integrity of the building even before the National Archives was involved with it. It's always let me see if I can sneak it to the jail. Let me see here. Do it. Okay, here we go. Let's do it. There's one of the cameras up there. I'm still doing good.
You're still good.
Okay, here's the one camera from robotics in the hallway that watches the whole bottom hallway. Then in each cell, we have these robotics cameras. Let's see. I'll try to give you a good tour here. Here's what I've been told is the hole. If you aren't acting right in cells, they stuffed you in there, which I could fit in there. Cell 2. Camera up in that corner. There's not a place you can go inside this jail, except for the back corner by officer friendly, not being picked up by the camera, and as far as anything that's going on in here. Which here's what I was talking about earlier. There's a bed and the toilet. I'm not taking the bottom toilet, and I'm definitely not sleeping with my head by the toilet. So that would have been the first problem here. Here's something really cool. Here's the train unit from 1928 that's still here.
Wow.
There's the way you turn it on and off. Let's see if we can sneak up the stairs. If you hear me puffing and panting, it's because I'm old and smoke. And but here's the one that faces down the hallway that goes all the way to the back corner there. It still smells like mothballs in here. I don't know why. But this is cell 6. This is where they would have our cell 4. This held 6 inmates. There's its camera. The hanging happened right here. Goodness gracious. It takes your breath away up here, I swear. Cell 5, again, one of those cameras, covers every bit, so you know your investigators are in here. That's the camera that would show, that goes into people's homes across the planet, be able to watch the investigators in action.
That's really cool.
You get down here, this is cell 6. It's a good example. 2 beds, toilet. Good cell here. There's officer friendly. You come around the corner, bam, there he is. There's the men's shower, the other train unit. Here's cell 7, the bed. It would have 2 beds, the toilet, the original sink. Ooh, and then cell 8. Cool thing about this that I hear from some of the older people here is when back in the 30s, back when the jail was open, that outside fence I was showing y'all earlier, the inmates would open these windows, and after the sheriff's leave, their family members would come, and that's how they would visit. They'd get there with the fence. And, hey, Sam, how's it going up there? Oh, I still got 6 more months in here. And let me tell you what. Being in one of these cells in August after a rainstorm is unbearable. The heat, and even with the thermals, it'll show you it gets 135, 140 degrees in the cell.
Oh. No, thank you.
Yeah, that's why we're going to have the sheriff house down there that we were doing a lot of the interview from. That's going to be air conditioned and all. But the jail stays totally immersive. If you come here to visit and it's August, you're going to feel exactly what those inmates are feeling. I want it to be totally immersive to the people that come and visit to the people that are watching it on from home.
That's cool.
Man, there's the switchboard, this table. I know it's getting kick the light on. There we go. This table is May Stringer House down in Brooksville, Florida. They donated to the jail. 1945 medical table. And it is heavy. Yeah, this is James. But then we go over here. This is another point of interest. Here's the actual boiler from 1928 as well. It's in the back of the building.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, a lot of it's been stripped out, as you've seen, and will be phase 2. If Casper Virtual Ghost Hunting does take off, those proceeds will go to making the jail as it was in 1928 with the toilets, the beds, the front facade that you see on the picture that you showed from 1978, putting on that front facade with the arches. That's the only way I'm going to change the jail, is changing it back to what it was at one point.
That would be cool.
So
That would be cool. So Deborah says, I'm sure if you come in the middle of August, not only do you have to worry about gators, but you have to worry about the no-see-em bugs.
well, I tell you what, Deborah, I do keep several cans of off here at the jail. Because, even now, it's, the no-see-ems will get you. But like I said, this down here in this gathering room, this will have a couple of fans and air conditioning and all. But the good thing is the lights that I'm going to have redone that were in the jail from the 20s, I'm not going to have the switch in here in the jail. Where I'm going to put the switch is way over here by the TV against this wall. So when you do hit the switch, there's no electricity running into the jail at all. So you won't have any interference.
Gotcha.
Like I said, I don't call myself a paranormal investigator, but a lot of the renovations I'm making is with a paranormal investigator's mind thought. Like, I don't want anything going on that's going to hinder me catching what may be going on.
Right.
So, but yeah, it's like I said, it's we love it. My son loves doing it too. He's been hunting with me for about 4 years now, and he's 17. I mean, don't chastise me, any of your viewers. Like, how could you bring a 12-year-old to the Lem Brewery in the McPike Mansion? Because I'm there teaching him, and
Yes.
I can imagine when he gets to be my age, he'll actually be taking serious because of the years of experience he's going to have. That unfortunately, me starting so late in life, I'm going to be 60 this year. You talk 10, 15, 20 years from now, he's going to have 30 years of experience in hunting. So,
That's, yeah. No, one of the girls that's on now, Megan, she brings her daughter with us when we go different places. I think it's a great thing if kids are interested and they want to know about them, let it know, because if
you're learning
run
about
across
history, how to keep them safe and all. But you were saying something about Paranormal 27. I have people sign the walls. They make contributions to come, but let's see here if I can focus
27
in on.
spirits,
Yeah, down a little further. There we go. 27
are.
spirits. There they are. They signed the wall there. Here's the Atlantic Explorers, Kindred Spirits, War Party Paranormal, I Spook Paranormal with Austin and Dale.
That's really
East
cool.
Bay, Rhode Island, they've come from. Ann Gower over here. We have Ann Gower from the UK that came out, that she's already planning her next visit here to the Gilchrist. Now, let me tell you, cost a lot of money to fly from the UK to come all the way here to see this little jail. Oh, there's 27 Spirits. Woo. I'll tell you how in the dark I am on things. So I had these young men about a year ago say, hey, we'd like to come into the jail and learn about the jail. And I'm like, yeah, okay, we can do that. And they do their thing, and I go home that evening, and I tell my boys, yeah, I had these two kids named Sam and Colby come to the jail. I don't know if your viewers know who Sam and Colby are, because I sure the hell didn't.
Oh, 27 Spirits knows who they are, don't you, 27 Spirits?
And I said to my kids, Sam and Colby, they're like, the Sam and Colby? And I'm like, what do you mean, the Sam and Colby? Well, a year later, if you looked at it's the 3 most haunted jails in Florida, it has 9,500,000 views, this jail now. I had no clue who they were. I just thought they're 2 nice young men. Yeah. They made a nice contribution to the jail, which I was really appreciative of. I didn't have them. I didn't say to sign the wall, but I should have. But may not agree with the way they hunt. But I tell you what I can't disagree with. It's the followers that allow them to learn the history, travel the planet, show people that can't get to these places, the place, you know. So I most certainly am not going to say anything bad about those 2 young men. They were very nice. And I'm overwhelmed, like me doing this little interview with you. If a year from now I see we had millions of views, I'd be impressed with that as well. But I'm just as impressed if we have 5 people watching us tonight. It doesn't matter. I love talking about the place and my experiences.
Well, we have 8 now, but I think we were at like 12 earlier.
Whoa,
so
baby, now
they come and go.
Yeah, when I do my live feeds, I'm lucky enough to get Shadow to watch sometimes. But you know, people will go back.
Also go on our.
I shouldn't bag on myself when I look at my views on my, you know, the manager, the dashboard. Last month I had 78,000 views out of what I do. So
that's really cool.
not too shabby. I'm like I said, I'm not trying to make myself famous. I'm trying to make the jail to get the support that it needs to be here for another 100 years.
Yep. I totally agree with you that the history is very, very important. I think that if we are going to let the memories die, we're all going to be in big trouble. There's too many places, you know, Pennhurst. Sounds like they're really going to go through with this. Uh-oh, I lost him. I lost him. I'm going to hang on a minute. Maybe he'll come back. Because it looks like Ron split out. All right. Well, I'm going to hang on a minute. Maybe he'll come back. I think it's really cool what he's doing with this jail. I, for one, am somebody that would go there, but I would also jump on doing the visitation or the. Here he comes back. We got it back.
Yes.
Uh-oh, no audio again.
Oh, give it a second. Give it a second.
Oh,
there we go.
There you go. All right. There we go. But yeah, I think that with the history, we have to keep the history going. You know, we're looking at places like Pennhurst that's about to close. They're going to bulldoze it, and they're going to make it a data center, right?
Bye.
We just, it's too important.
I think so. I really do. I think so. And I've worked on a lot of different buildings with the union. I've worked at Nellis Air Force Base. I've worked at Area 51. I've been on the federal buildings all over the country with the union. You know, this is the one project that I've done. I'm not just a cog in a big machine that does it. I'm the guy that has made this place not paranormally. That's not my doing. The saving of the place, the representing it in the right way, being the Jack Torrance of the Gilchrist jail, I like to refer myself as. I'm the caretaker. It's not me that they're coming to see, like Billy Joel would say. They're coming to see the jail, and I'm just the one person in a line of many that'll go to my son and maybe my grandson later on. They're coming to see this jail, and I'm happy to help these spirits tell their stories to the masses. Like I said, I go to a lot of different places, and of course, what am I going to say? It's the best place I've ever been to. I'm not going to say it's the best place because each night can be different at each different location. But let me tell you, being I spend so much time here, of course, I'm going to be biased, but of course, I'm going to see so much in this building with so much energy. But I've seen some pretty crazy stuff at other places too, like the Lemp Brewery, the McPike Mansion, the May Stringer House, the Clay County Jail. That one's great too. Unfortunately, like you were saying about Pennhurst, Jasper County Jail, or not county jail, prison, where they actually did executions and all. Unfortunately, the caretakers weren't really putting the money into the place, and the county commissioners shut them down. It's done.
Yep.
And you got to take these places seriously, because at the end of the day, it's like if you have a ghost in your house. I really like to push the word coexistence when it comes to spirits. Like,
yes.
You notice something going on, don't get scared, don't run. You have something scratching you, or obviously if you feel there's a demonic presence, that's one thing. But most of the ghosts spirits that I've come in contact with are just earthbound spirits that really crave, for whatever reason why they stay here. That's something that we won't know until we're gone. But to save, it'd be me trying to kick you out of your studio right now. Hey, you need to get out of the studio. Would you be very friendly about it? No. It'd be like throwing me,
not at all.
Try to kick me out of here. Not going to be friendly about it. I'm just a caretaker. I don't call myself the owner. I just call myself the caretaker. Because these historical places need someone to step up and say, hey, you're worth saving. Hey, your home is worth saving. This history is worth saving. These antiques that I put in here are worth saving. They're worth showing. Like, hey, James, do me a favor and go grab the Charlie Chaplin doll. Patrick made a donation the other day. Before I read the box, I just looked at the face, and I'm going to show you the face of it. And I'm not going to mention the name that I thought it was, but I will let you and your viewers decide. And I know who Charlie Chaplin is, but look at the face of this. Here, let me get it. Now, with the little mustache, I thought it was Adolf. I thought it was Adolf Hitler, and I'm like, where'd you get the Adolf Hitler stat? But it's in its original box and everything. It's Charlie Chaplin. I didn't want to take it out and look at it because I just want to leave it in the box.
Yeah,
but it's cool. Things like that to where you're going to see a lot of different things when you come here. Dolls and antique toys and, antiques from Trenton and Gilchrist in Florida, to where somehow, some way we make it fit in with just something different, strange and unusual is what I'd like to put it. Yeah, I like historical items as well that fit into this county. But at the end of the day, the strange and unusual, I love it. Shout out to Mr. Ballin, by the way. I like his strange and unusual stuff. I don't know if you watch Mr. Ballin. My wife's a big fan, and Lord knows we watch sometimes.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Henry, thank you so much for letting us in and seeing things and hear about your plans. And I can't wait to get this virtual ghost hunting thing going, because that, to me, that blows my mind. I can't wait to see that.
What really blows my mind is that we don't have outside influences. This is all in-house. Like I said, it's better than trying to put up a GoFundMe. You're getting something, and you could feel proud to. I'll probably make it a point, the walls here in the gathering room, all of our subscribers, as they come in, I'm going to write their name on the walls as well, because it's from contributions to our subscribers that are really going to help push the envelope as far as what we're able to do here inside the jail and doing other investigations outside of the jail for your followers and our subscribers to really be able to enjoy places they may not be able to get to go ever. I think it's very unique. I think, like you're saying, other places are going to want to follow in the footsteps, but good luck. I do say that they get hold of Ron Poulin. He can help them set something up like this at their own place. But I just think the uniqueness of it is going to get the subscribers. But we'll see. It might be like my podcast or my live feeds. I might have 6 people that are interested, you being one of them. And I will go out of my way to appreciate any subscriber, anybody that wants to join in on this journey, and that's exactly what it is. I appreciate that. I appreciate the help. I appreciate the support. I can't say that enough.
If somebody watching either now or in the future, because this will be on our Facebook page and it'll also go over to our YouTube page, if somebody watching says, "Hey, I want to donate to that cause," how would they do that?
As of right now, we're still getting things in place with the web page. It's going to be designed totally for that. It'll be being launched probably the next several weeks. You can reach out to me at the historical Gilchrist County page. Private message me. I guarantee I will personally talk to you. I always have time to someone who's interested in this historical place, and I could get you on a list that will, so you can join in, because, like I said, we've been working hard on this, and we're going to be launching the best that we possibly can. So with that said, I want it to be no hiccups before people sign up for it. And then I'll try to do my part to get, obviously, visitors to come, for people to watch. But at the end of the day, if for a small fee, you're doing one person can't possibly do it all, like myself and my wife. But if I can have subscribers, and for a very small monthly fee, what they're getting in return and what they're giving far exceeds of what I can do, and that's very important to these historical places. And maybe we can be a catalyst for a place like that brewery you're talking about, because no one person can afford to save these, especially like a place like Waverly or a place like Penhurst or a place like that brewery you're talking about. The pockets aren't deep enough, because you'll never realize your return ever, unless you have something like this that you can get it out to the masses, that they're going to truly be. Because let's face it, look at how popular Hollywood is on their spin of the paranormal. I'll just put it that way. I don't want to be disrespectful to anybody.
Yeah.
They do what they do, and that's fine. But this is so much different, and so much closer to what the reality of paranormal investigating is, and the history of these places. And most people don't know the paranormal investigators. They want to put a label on them. Oh, they're just talking to spirits, or they're demon hunters, or this, or that. Most paranormal investigators are very much into saving these historical buildings. They hold hands together. And that's what a lot of people need to realize too. It's not ungodly to save a historical place.
Yep.
And it's not like we're conjuring up demons. We're talking to spirits that are already there, that it's only obvious when you had 25 years of data coming in from this place that, yeah, you could fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool everybody all the time. And that's year after year after year, people coming up with the same names with different tools, different energies they bring in for our subscribers to see that. It's an amazing journey.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Well, I'm going to let you go, because we've already been on here for an hour and a half. Maybe you missed maybe the first 10 minutes, because we had such a nightmare getting started. But I appreciate you coming on the show, and you're welcome anytime. If say, hey, I want to come back on, or you got something like a grand opening you want to announce, or
Thank you.
anything like that.
I love doing these podcasts. I love sharing my experiences. Like Alex Lovelock out of London. I've been on his show probably in the past 5 years, probably 16, 17 different times. I never run out of something to say about this place or the paranormal investigating or historical places. I love my own voice.
He does say the same thing over and over again, though. I will say that.
So I'm going to make a conscious effort to at some point get down there. I think we're going to drag 27 spirits with us again. So we're going to figure that out. Probably not this year, but it'll probably have to be next year. We're pretty well booked this year, but we're going to get there.
It's going to be a big deal here. The Saturday before Halloween, 2028, when this place turns 100, I should be totally legal, up and running by then. It's going to be going to have a live band on the roof of the jail. It's going to be a big one. That would be a time to come. But hey, you take your time. You know what? The place has been here 98 years. Probably be here 98 years after you and I are long gone.
I may not be here another 98 years, so
I know
gotta
I
get
won't
there as
be.
soon as I can.
But I tell you what I am going to do, and this may be morbid, but after I pass, my family knows to get me cremated, put my ashes here. So
I would absolutely do that. Absolutely. Well, listen, thank Ron for us. He was a good host. I already forgot your other guy's name.
Patrick and my son James.
Patrick. Patrick, thank you so much for helping me through all the issues we had. James, we never saw you but for a second, but thank you.
I mean, I didn't expect it to happen. This is a guy. Okay.
So thanks for having us. Just all you got to do is PM me and tell me a date, and I'll be here. If you need to fill in at the last minute,
Sounds like a plan. Thank you.
Someone cancels. That's what I do for Alex Lovelock. Somebody cancels, he'll call me up. I make the time to come here, or I'll come live from my house out Williston, which happens to be the land that the Tippecanoe and the Seminoles fought a battle on here back in the day. Very active place as well. So never run out of things to talk about. I'll tell you that much.
Let's do it. I'm in for it.
All right, just let me know.
Well, you
I
guys
appreciate
take care.
you, sir.
You guys take care. Best wishes to you. Can't wait to get down there and check you out.
That'd be great. You open invitation. Just tell me when, and I'll open the door for you.
We'll be there. All right.
All
Take
right,
care
have
now.
a great night.